Welcome to the Middle Experience, where we have up close and personal conversation with people that I admire, people that I look up to, and fixtures of the game. This king is definitely one of them. You probably heard him on the radio with a big DM, seen him on the news, the ABC News, and he's a deputy coroner for Richland County, Mr. Curtis Wilson. What's up, Kurt? How you doing, man?
I'm good on this Saturday. Forgive me for looking a little down today. No shade.
Yeah, that's all right, brother. That's all right, brother. Well, I want to ask about you, man. What's the origin of Curtis Wilson? Where did you come from, and what made you come to South Carolina? Because you're originally from New York, correct?
Right. From Brooklyn, New York originally, and ended up coming to South Carolina because of radio. I came here from Texas.
Okay.
Radio is like my first love. It's something I always wanted to do, is radio, and that led to a lot of other things when I arrived in South Carolina, which, of course, the television, and then also all the sports things that I do too.
Okay, awesome. I know you told me you're not in law enforcement. You was in it for 10 years, but how do you get into media and law enforcement?
Getting into radio, that was like my first love. It was something I always wanted to do, was to get into radio. And I was blessed to be able to accomplish that mission. But then I got a call and an offer to become a news anchor, which I'd never done before. Yeah. And I figured it would be a new avenue, a new stepping stone, something that would also broaden my horizon. So I decided to try news. And that worked out well. But then, of course, radio is still in my blood. So I had to do both at the same time. And then, when you're in the media, you see a lot of the crimes that are taking place. You talk about them. And a lot of times you're seeing these young kids get in trouble. And I figured, I wanted to do something about that. So getting into law enforcement was a way to be able to reach kids using my media background, and then also now law enforcement, because we're all going to make mistakes in life. But if nobody's there to help you learn from those mistakes, you're going to repeat them. So being able to use my voice and the knowledge and the skills that I had, I wanted to get out and be able to reach these youngsters to try to deter them from the crime and getting into the trouble that they don't have to. And no matter where they come from, they can succeed. They can overcome any trials and tribulations going on in their life if they just, of course, apply themselves. And I didn't apply myself as a kid. Growing up, my grades were not the best. They were terrible, actually. But I was able to realize at a point in my life that I had to get serious, especially if I wanted to accomplish goals, dreams, and desires. And I went through a rough period. But then through that rough period, it taught me. And I wanted to teach these youngsters that same thing.
Has anybody ever came to you about wanting you to play their music on the radio, like a demo or anything? Do you get a lot of that?
You can tell by my laugh, yes. And the thing is that when you get those folks that come to you, I'm going to be real with you. If your music's good, then I'm going to do my best to get it, to where it needs to be. But if you need some help, I'm going to tell you about that too. Because if I don't tell you the truth, then what am I doing for you? How am I helping you? Right. So if your music needs a little work, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. It's either they want their music played or they want to get into the business. And a lot of people these days, they want instant success. I tell them, you got to walk first. First you crawl, then you walk, and then you run. That's how that works. And so, that's what I got to teach them. I teach them basics first. Because once you learn the basics, no matter what happens, you're going to be able to learn from that. And that's your core. You're going to be able to keep going. But if you skip all those other steps, when you get to the top and something happens, how are you going to handle it? Stress can happen. All kinds of things can happen. But if you got your base, you're going to be fine. You'll learn how to adapt.
I know you're out of law enforcement, but I'm still going to the law enforcement part and also the media. How, in your opinion, has law enforcement and media changed throughout the years?
Law enforcement has totally changed. No question about that. I mean, you see what's happening right now in society. And law enforcement can't be that warrior mentality anymore. They have to be the kinder, gentler guardians now. And that's what law enforcement is. If you get into law enforcement with that mentality, when you put that badge and gun on, that you're the big shot and everybody's got to listen to you, you're going to have a hard, long career. But if you get in there knowing that you have this as opposed to a gun or a weapon, that's going to help you. It's called verbal judo. You get in there now, you got to be able to use this and this to be able to de-escalate situations that take place. Because, see, when you go to a scene, two things are going to happen. One, you're going to either de-escalate it to make things where you can calm that situation, or you yourself are going to come and you're going to agitate and make that situation go from 0 to 100. And it could go 0 to 100 quick. So you better learn how to use this and more so than a gun.
I didn't mean to cut you off on that, but that's so true, man. I worked, before I became on the road, I worked 3 years at the detention center in Sumter County. And you know, there, all we got is this. That's all we got is our mouthpiece. So once I got on the road and a situation happened, I'm able to talk to guys before they explode. So that verbal judo is so true what you just stated. But how did the media change throughout the years in your opinion?
Media can help or hurt law enforcement when it comes to that aspect.
I agree.
As you know, when people video, record stuff on their phones, they're catching it as it already escalated. They didn't catch what happened at the beginning to start things that took place. And so it's unfair to law enforcement when that happens. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that every situation is not law enforcement's fault. That's not, no, I'm not saying that, no way at all, period. But what I'm saying is, there's a reason why it went from 0 to 100, and most times we don't see what happened to cause that. And so media will take whatever happened towards the middle and end and play that to the hilt, and it makes law enforcement look so bad sometimes. We do have bad apples in law enforcement, just like there are bad apples in any freaking walk of life, you know. So, but those who are the bad apples, those are the ones that definitely need to be brought to the forefront.
We're going to move on to the next segment of the podcast called the Rapid Fire. I'll shoot straight from the hip, ask you questions, you can answer it however you want. I'm going to start off with, psychology states there's only two emotions, that's being loved and feared. Which one Curtis rather be, love or fear?
Love. I'm a lover, I'm not a fighter. I work out a lot just in case I need to fight.
There you go. There you go. What is Curtis' biggest fear?
Heights. Hate heights.
Bro,
roller coasters. Don't put me on a roller coaster.
I'm with you, man. I had a bad experience as a kid with the roller coasters, man, at Carowinds when I was a kid. So I'm with you on that one, my man.
You know, and what's crazy is I grew up in the projects, 16 stories. I grew up on the 12th floor. Heights was not an issue, but I hadn't been in the projects in like forever. So now heights, it's a different look for me now.
Yeah, I understand.
I won't get on a plane or anything, man. Plane, roller coaster.
I won't get on a plane.
I can't do it, bro. I gotta start off small. What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
Never let anybody steal your joy. Never let anyone steal your joy, because that will dictate the rest of your day. You know what I mean? There are always ways that you need to deal with your obstacles and things that go on in your life, but never let anybody steal your joy. That's too important for you. It'll stress you out, make you look old. I'm like 70 years old, but you can't tell.
You look awesome, man. You look awesome, man. What's the worst piece of advice you ever got?
Worst piece? Oh, this won't hurt.
You're stranded on an island. There's only 3 things you can bring with you. What's the 3 things you can bring?
Bible, water, and if social media is out, my iPad.
All right, we're gonna lighten up a little bit. What's your top 5 albums that you listening to?
Top 5 albums?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Off the Wall. Whitney Houston, the one where she had all the hits on it. I can't think of the name of that one. Temptations with the classics. Marvin Gaye, and I like Barry White.
Barry White.
I'm a lover. Barry White.
If you're going on a road trip, you're going to bring one album with you. Out of 5 albums, which one you bringing with you?
Probably Whitney.
Whitney?
Yeah, that song, you give the best love, you give good love. Whew.
Yeah. That's a classic. That's a classic.
I have like 5 kids from that album.
Hey, I'm with you, man.
What's your most proud possession? Besides your kids,
Right.
your significant other.
Probably got quite a few of them, but I have to pick one. So I'm gonna go back to when I was in high school and I won the Best Running Back Award. That one right there, that trophy I got, that validated me as an athlete.
Okay, awesome. That's what's up, man. What's your guilty pleasure?
Dang it. Butter pecan ice cream.
Man.
Tough. Yeah.
Man.
I'm with you. I was just telling somebody.
Huh?
I was just telling one of my clients, man, on my cheat day, I got to have sweets. I don't care what it is. That's like my kryptonite, sweets, man. Especially Oreo cookies. You know what I'm saying?
The golden Oreo cookies.
What?
That's crack. That's crack right there.
Yes. I agree, man. With some milk.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's crack, man.
For sure.
When it's all said and done, what's the one word that best describes Curtis Wilson?
Sincere.
Sincere.
Sincere. Always try to come from the heart. If I talk with you or I deal with you, it's always got to be from the heart. Sincere.
Okay.
And that's it for today, man. I appreciate you coming out to the experience, to the Miller experience. Is anything you want to say, anything you want to put out there for people to get in contact with you, or anything you have to say before we leave on this note?
Well, first off, I want to thank you for having me. I appreciate that. And also, I got to say, that your videos that you post inspire me to make sure to keep my drive going. And also, I appreciate everyone, of course, who supports me in what I do, whether it's on the Big DM or whether it's on ABC Channel 25 or whether it's what I do in law enforcement. Thank you all, and know that I'm just trying to put my best foot forward each and every single day. Every single day is an adventure. Every single day is an opportunity for me to try to do something to help inspire someone else. So thank you guys. You can also follow me at Curtis Wilson 275. That's Twitter, Instagram, and of course on Facebook as well. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to the Middle experience, Kurt.
You got it. Thank you.
Take care, bro.
You too. Have a great weekend.
You too. Hopefully we can link up.
You know it for sure.